All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson of how alone the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. All right. And Lord Woods' brothers can see on the screen. And that's from Joel, the third chapter. All right. Which I'm going to read here in a second. But Lord Woods' brothers can see on the screen. I have this article here from the Zero Hedge. And it says global military spending hits all-time high as World War III threats priest. All right. So yeah, man, all these nations around the world are gearing up for war, the Third World War. All right. And the majority of their money, all right, or whatever is being spent on their military. All right. Their military budget is has increased. All right. And not just here in Babylon, all right, all over the world. All right. So I'm reading a little bit of the article. It says rather it begins in Eastern Europe or the South China Sea. World War III threats are mounting with each passing week. The latest data shows global military spending increasing for the eighth consecutive year in 2022 to an all-time high. Why is that? Because we're getting ready to go to war. All right? All these nations ain't increasing their military spending for no reason. All right, just to show off, parade missiles and things and tanks and new tanks and things like that down the street. These in them parades and things like that for nothing. All right? They're building up their military might and building these new weapons and building new missiles and everything like that because they're getting ready to go to war. Just not to parade them up and down the street. All right. The surge in the European spending primarily drove the increase due to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Global defense expenditures increased by 3.7% in real terms to a record high of 2.4 trillion in 2022. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institution wrote in a report. The sharpest rise was the 13% in Europe arms budget, the largest increase in 30 years. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has suppressed many surrounding countries, as spurs many surrounding countries, as did one in Asia due to the rising tensions in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait to increase spending. Some of the sharpest military spending increase in Europe was in Finland, 36%, Lithuania, 27%, Sweden, 12%, Poland, 11%. Many of these countries are near Russia. The largest increase globally also included Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And there it is. You can see the chart. Finland, but these are most of these NATO and EU nations. All right, a lot of them. All right, Spain, I think Finland, Sweden, Poland. Well, Poland is, I believe Poland is a part of NATO, if I am mistaken. All right, I know Spain is. Then you got Iran. All of these nations are has increased. All right, Finland is the highest. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Belgium, Netherlands, Sweden, Poland, Russia, Denmark, Spain, Norway, India, Japan, Iran, and China. Uh, the continuous rise in global military expenditure is rising year in is recent years is a sign that we are living in a increasingly insecure world, said Dr. Nay Tyan, senior researcher with SIPRI Military Expenditure and Arms Production Program. Salakia. All right, it said estimate that the military aid to Ukraine from the U.S. was around 19.9 billion, which accounted for a 2.3 increase in total U.S. military spending last year. The U.S. is still the world's biggest military spender, and that's not a coincidence because America is the military might under three city states. All right, and when you think about it spiritually, Esau's blessings is a sword. That's why when America is destroyed, all right, just looking at it one way, when America's destroyed, it's gonna be the end of Esau's empire because because Esau got the world by force of the sword, and Babylon the Great is the is the is the military might of Esau's system, you can say. So when it goes down, Esau is going to go down. So when the Lord destroys America, that's going to be it for Esau's kingdom, you can say. All right. It says, increasingly total. I read that already. It is still the world's biggest military spender, near reaching 900 billion in 2022, maybe 1 trillion soon. China is the second largest military spender, then Russia. Combined, the U.S. spent of the largest three arms spenders, U.S., China, and Russia, and they are all accounted for 56% of global expenditures. Yeah, man. So it's about to go down, man. All right. And again, this ain't for nothing. The Lord ain't putting the spirit on these nations to gear up for war and things like that for no reason. All right. They're gonna go to war with each other. This is Joel chapter 3. We start at verse 9, verse 8. It's like it. All right, this is verse 9. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. And who are the Gentiles? These other nations. Esau, um, Moab, Elam, Ishmael, uh, so on and so forth. These other nations. All right. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come all, and let the weak say, I am strong. And again, all these nations are increasing their military budget. All right. And the great equalizer is the nuclear missile. That's the great equalizer. And all these nations have most of all these nations have the nuclear capability now. And that's the great equalizer. All right. That's why you don't see Babylon just running up on certain countries like that no more, because they got the nuclear capability. And if they don't have it, their allies are nations that have nuclear capability. Like it says, the scriptures speak about Gog and Magog being a guard unto them nations. All right, so yeah, man, the America ain't the big bully on the block no more, man. You can say this is beat your plowshares into sword. Now America is more cautious on what they do. Like with Saudi Arabia, if they were threatening, we're not interested in pleasing the U.S. and all of that. Back in the past, they would have just ran in there and took them motherfuckers out. All right, but they can't do that now because they're joint partners. They're getting ready to join BRICS, but they're cutting deals with China and Russia, which are nations that have the nuclear weapons, big armies, all right, and so on and so forth. But in the past, if they would have, now Saudi Arabia wouldn't dare say something like that, all right, saying F dollar without worried about America and anything like that. They wouldn't dare say nothing like that in the past. But now, America's more cautious because the Lord is even in the playing field. Because again, if they don't have the nuclear weapons or a mighty military, they're allies with somebody that does have a mighty military and nuclear weapons. All right, but at the end of the day, it ain't gonna matter. All these nations are gonna lock horns, and all these nations, including America's allies, are gonna turn on it and destroy America. All right. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So don't forget your agriculture, your the roads, whatever expenses you use for your roads, your school systems, anything like that. Dump a majority of your money into the military, like America's been doing for years. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about hither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be walk and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Jehoshaphat, which is the Most High's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathens round about. And that's what the Most High is getting ready to do. Bring all these nations in the Middle East. All right, in the area in the Middle East. Like Elder always goes into the Fertile Crescent. And the war is going to kick off over there. And ultimately, missiles are going to be shot on America, and America is going to be destroyed in the Third World War. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley. Salaki of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Right, so the Lord's getting ready to bring this war, man. So the Third World War ain't far off, like the scriptures tell us. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. This Let's start at 13. Revelation chapter 11, verse 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. Right now, earthquake is the nuclear destruction. All right, when you look it up, um, America is broken apart by 10 FEMA regions. So the whole land is going to be destroyed by America. But it's like the whole land of America is going to be destroyed. All right, because again, when you look it up, America is broken up into 10 FEMA regions. So the Lord said the 10th part of the city shall fall in the earthquake, which is going to cause that mighty earthquake, the nuclear missiles. The scriptures say the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. So when the missiles hit, it's going to be like an earthquake. But it's going to be 1,000 times worse than an earthquake. Because not only is it going to shake the earth, it's also going to set America ablaze. All right. The 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, which 7 is the number of completion. Everybody that's left behind in America is going to die. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. Verse 14. The second woe was past, World War 1 and 2 is gone, and the third woe come quickly. And the third woe come quickly. All right. Which is what? The Third World War. All right. Which is right around the corner. And ultimately, again, all these nations are going to set their sight on America, even America's allies. So like this is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9. For lo, I rise and come and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. And real quick, I got the definition for the word assembly. So like it real quick, pull it back up again. All right. Assembly. Right, assembly. A group of people, which says all are military. A group of people, which is a group of nations, a group of people gathered together in one place for a common purpose. And what's that common purpose going to be? To destroy America. All right, that's going to be that common purpose. Again, play it again. Assembly. An assembly, a group of people gathered together in one place for a common purpose. And again, that common purpose is what? To destroy America. All right. So read again. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. So a bunch of nations, like Russia, China, Iran, even America's allies, the NATO and the EU, are those great nations, assembly of great nations for the northern country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. For this shall she be taken, and their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in void. Right, so the USSR, all of that, not the US, yeah, the Russia and all the mother nations that have the nuclear weapons, they're all going to come up against America. And all, verse 10, and all Chaldea shall be spoiled, which means taken, and all the spoils hers shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Right, because their problems will be eliminated, because America is the problem, because America is the big bully on the block. All right, so, yeah, man, the Lord is increasing things, man. All right. And again, America's getting ready to be destroyed. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to the brothers that push this truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.